Man, he made rings around us. You see? So he must have shared it with the other Jewish managers in the firm. So the guy knows something, you see. So while walking through one of the departments, clothing department, and the manager of the clothing department, Mr. Baynard, another Jew, he calls me. I was wearing a white dust coat, furniture trade. He said, come here, Deidat. I said, yes, sir. He says, you made rings around Mr. Beer. I hear. But you can't do that to me. He says, as for Ishmael was a bastard. Look, this is how the brainwash program. As for Ishmael was a bastard, he says. An Arab would have put a knife through him. But we couldn't afford to do that. So I said, Mr. Baynard, look, why don't you come home? We'll sit down and we'll talk. Bring your wife along and your friends will have meals together. I said, you can't do to me what you did to Mr. Beer. I said, who's talking about doing anything? You come home. Not interested. And every time I get an opportunity, Mr. Baynard, I said, my wife, I told her, and she is looking forward to receiving you and your wife. Come home. Every time I said, look, Mr. Baynard, come. We are waiting for you. So he was persuaded. He comes. Mr. and Mrs. Baynard, Mr. and Mrs. Peel, and Mr. Townsend, who was a backroom boy for the Full Gospel Church. 3 Christians and 2 Jews. They come along. Same treatment, feed them well, take them to the masjid, bring them back. I said, now we have teas and samosas. So they're having teas and samosas. So I said, maybe now the guy softened. The tea and samosa and our meals, they're very good. It might have done the job. So I'm thinking. So I said, Mr. Baynard, you remember you told me in the shop that Ishmael was a bastard. He said, of course. I said, you still stand for that? He said, of course. I thought the samosas had done the job, but it hadn't. So I said, all right, Mr. Baynard, tell me now. According to the religion of your religion, Judaism, which is better for a man to marry his own sister and beget child by her, or marry a bondwoman, a slave woman, a negress, and beget child by such a woman? He said, no, the negress is preferable. According to the religion of Judaism, instead of having your own sister as a wife, you rather have a slave woman, a negress, a bondwoman, because that is what they insinuate, that Hajara, who was actually a princess of Egypt. But this rubbish, they say that she was a slave woman. It's all right, even a slave woman. Which is better as a wife, your sister or a slave woman? According to your religion. He said, no, the slave woman is preferable. I said, very good. I said, you see, according to the laws of eugenics, inbreeding, which is better for you to have your own sister as a wife, or you have a slave woman, a bondwoman, a negress? He said, no, the negress is preferable. I said, according to your common sense, which is preferable, your own sister or this negress? He said, no, the negress is preferable. It's very good. No, the answers are right, correct. I said, you see, Mr. Baynard, when Abraham and Sarah, husband and wife, when they went to Egypt, it says, and Abimelech, I'm quoting from Genesis chapter 20, verse 12. You can check it up. And Abimelech, the king of Gerar, sent and took Sarah. See, he goes there, and this Sarah was a beautiful Jewess, Hebrew woman, beautiful thing. So this king, he's enamored, he wants her. And there is what is called the prerogative of kings. In the olden days, you see, the king has a right to take anybody's wife or mother or daughter, anything he wants to say, I want that woman. You can't say no, otherwise it can kill you. So he's asking Hazrat Ibrahim alayhi salam, according to the Bible, say, this beautiful woman, what is she to you? So Hazrat Ibrahim alayhi salam, according to the Bible, he spoke a lie. He said, she's my sister. So she's your sister, well, send her in to the haram. So he had to send her in. And things went wrong that night, and the fellow couldn't come right with Sarah. We don't know what happened. But next morning, he's frustrated and he's calling Ibrahim, Hazrat Ibrahim alayhi salam, and asking him, say, look man, because of this woman I had a sleepless night. Tell me, what is your connection with her? So he said, she's my wife. He said, why did you lie to me? Why didn't you tell me? I wouldn't have done anything like that. And Hazrat Ibrahim alayhi salam says, according to Genesis chapter 20 verse 12, he says, and yet indeed, means without doubt, she is my sister. She is the daughter of my father, but not the daughter of my mother. It's different mother, but it's the father's seed. And she became my wife. So she is Abraham's sister, seed coming from the same father. And you said, according to Judaism, according to eugenics, according to common sense, that the negress was preferable. And you say Ishmael is a bastard because he's a child of Hagar, through Hagar, a slave woman. So I said, if Ishmael is a bastard, then Isaac is a greater bastard according to your standards. Look, you have a right to speak like that. We dare not speak about the prophets of God. Hazrat Ismail alayhi salam, he was a prophet of God. Hazrat Ishaq alayhi salam was a prophet of God. But now you're arguing with the sick mentality. You got to get rid of the sickness. You got to give it to him with a sledgehammer. When it needs a sledgehammer, nothing else will work. If you say my man, my hero is what you say, then yours is worse. Any standard. Now, you know, when you show this, the Quran, the way it speaks about the Bani Israel, it's amazing. You see, in 1967, soon after the Six-Day War, I was around one of these tours of mine, lecturing. And the Jewish society here, students of the university, they saw some of our adverts, like you might have seen in the Argus. They stopped it. They said, one advert, no more. Some Christians, you know, they went and complained, so they said, no. We are paying for it through our noses, but said, no. They won't have another advert of ours. We couldn't have given to the Herald because we knew they wouldn't put it in. So we have to advertise by word of mouth, what we are doing now. So please go and tell your friends, and bring your Christian friends and your Muslim friends. Bring them along to tomorrow night in the city hall. Crucifixion or crucifixion. So they saw some of our adverts in the newspapers, and they phoned the organizers then. He says, look man, this Mr. Deedat of yours, won't he come and speak to us in our clubhouse in Rondebosch? They had purchased a church. The Jewish boys had purchased a church and made it into a club. We would like him to come and speak to us. Actually, at the back of the mind, it was soon after the Six-Day War. They wanted to see how the Muslim cringed before them. You know, you gave knocktails into us. And cry and bewail, oh, so we'll fix you up in the future, we'll do this and we'll do that. They wanted to enjoy, get sadistic pleasure, you see, in working upon us. They want to know whether Mr. Deedat will come and speak. Oh, they asked me, I said, yes. This is my privilege. I can't say no. There's a sickness I have. And according to the appointment, we go there, and the chairman introduces me to the audience, Mr. Deedat, you know, the great man from Durban of the Islamic Propagation Center, and so on, so on, so on, so. And now to Mr. Deedat. So Deedat stands. And what I read to you at the beginning. You remember? It's a dua from the Holy Quran. The words of Hazrat Musa alayhi salam. Allah Bari Ta'ala is recording. قال رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. Now while I'm saying that, I can see the people straining. I said, look, I thought this guy's going to speak in English, but he's talking something gibberish. What is he talking? So I had to say, Mr. Chairman and ladies and gentlemen, I said, you see, I have read to you a verse from the Holy Quran. I was not trying to hypnotize you people or to mesmerize you people with incantations. And this is a prayer of the Holy Prophet Moses. Hazrat Musa alayhi salam, his prayer, this is his prayer. When he was commanded by Allah Bari Ta'ala to go and liberate his people, in trepidation, terrified, he cried out to Allah. Qala, he said, Rabbi shrah li sadri. So, oh my Lord, expand for me my breast, means make me brave. وَيَسِّرْ لِي أَمْرِي, and make my task easy for me. وَحْلُلْ عُقْدَةً مِّن لِسَانِي, and remove the impediment from my speech. يَفْقَهُ قَوْلِي, that they may understand what I have to say. This is his prayer. So I said, I have more need to offer such a prayer than Moses, because Moses only used to stutter. He used to stutter. I have more reasons to pray because I'm speaking on different level to a people.